We all want to believe that kindness and generosity can change people's lives. But have you ever tried to consistently help some persons, and no matter what you do, it seems as if nothing is changing? The more you move forward and take one step forward, you end up taking two steps backward? Well, the reality is that not everyone can be helped and not everyone should be helped. The reality is that some persons are very comfortable in their current state of living, and no matter how you try to elevate them, they are comfortable with a lower level of living, so therefore they will always find some matter, some contention, get into some conflict that brings them back down to the level of living that they're accustomed to. And it's not looking down on people or trying to think that we are a higher or above than some persons, but it is the fact that some persons are just comfortable in the way that they are. They have been cultured and nurtured a certain way, and therefore they can never operate at a different, or they can never vibrate at a higher level. Today we're going to be looking at the three types of people that you should never try to help. Leave them as they are and move on with your life. Now, this is going to rub some persons the wrong way, especially Christians, because we feel that everyone can be helped and we feel that everyone should be helped. But remember, in the book of Matthew it is written that if the disciples go into the city or the town and they refuse to hear their words and heed the calling, that they should shake the very dust off their feet from that house or that town and leave and never look back. It's the same way that we need to treat it now in terms of walking away from those toxic relationships and those toxic persons that cannot be helped and should not be helped. Remember, damaged people damage people. So stay tuned for this valuable information as we move forward in life. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial freedom and success. Now, what is this type of topic doing on a financial advice channel? You might say, well, the fact is that if it is that you do not manage the type of person that you are associated with, and if you are not having persons around you that elevate you, then you will have persons that are bringing you down inevitably. Remember, show me your closest friends and I'll tell you who you are. Also, by association, and one could say osmosis, you will develop a like mindset as the persons that you surround yourself with. So therefore, if you want to elevate yourself in terms of a higher thinking and a higher vibration, you need to surround yourself with persons of like-mindedness. So if you want to go to financial success, you need to surround yourself who are on the same pathway towards financial success and a healthier mindset. Now, the first set of persons that we're going to be looking at are those persons who are the perpetual victims. They always have a problem for every solution that you find for them. And no solution is ever good enough for them because they will find excuses out of them. These persons always seem to be in a crisis. No matter what you do and no matter how you help them, whenever you call them the next time or you're around them the next time, they are like a blood-sucking vampire and they are always seeking to drain your energy by telling you of the next crisis that they are in. You always wonder if they seek out crisis in their life because nothing ever seems to be going the right way for them. Now, we are not saying that you must always be happy-go-lucky and hunky-dory because life is not like that. But if it is that person who always sees the glass as half empty, while you are the type of person that sees the glass as half full, then you need to start pulling away from this person. And you're not going to do it immediately because yes, some persons, when you do meet them, all of us have situations in life that will arise. But if you find that every interaction with this person is a hard luck story or a crisis that is happening and the sky is falling like Chicken Little, then you need to stop and wonder if this is someone that you really need to be around. And if it is that after every interaction with this person you find yourself drained, demotivated, and having a pessimistic view on life, then you need to start looking at your association with them. Remember, you might have some persons in your life who are difficult, but you really need to love them from a distance because by closely associating with them, you are depleting your energy and therefore you will not have an optimistic view towards life. Now let's look at an example, because I want you to associate someone in your life with the examples that I'm giving. Now say for example you have this friend, and I know which friend that I have who is like that, but they shall remain nameless. And if you're watching this with that person, just keep looking straight ahead, breathe, smile, and just keep looking at the screen. Don't look to your left, don't look to your right, because we know that they are right beside you, correct? All right, now you have this friend who they are broke and always struggling. But every time you try to give them solutions like budgeting or finding a job that pays more or finding a side hustle, they come up with every excuse as to why it would not work for them. Oh, I don't have enough time to invest in a side business. Oh, I don't have enough savings to start a side hustle. Oh, it's going to take too long to find a new job and I need a solution right now. Oh, it makes no sense to budget because I'm not making enough money, so it makes no sense to budget. And all side hustles are always failing, so it does not make sense to start a side hustle. Bruh. These persons are finding a problem for every solution that you have to offer. Does it really make sense to try to help them? Because what will inevitably happen is that if they even try to start a solution, they are going to be so pessimistic going into it that it will inevitably fail, because they are going to be manifesting negativity towards any venture that they will be going towards. So it doesn't even make sense. At the end of the day, they are more comfortable with complaining about the problem than fixing the problem. They are more comfortable griping and complaining and seeking sympathy than they are to actually trying to find a solution to fix the problem. And if you realize that this is repetitive, because remember, we are not saying that if you have someone who is just really depressed on some days and they're having a pity party, yes, we can console them and we can grieve with them. But if you realize it's a consistent, repetitive behavior, cut them loose. Love them from a distance. See the phone ringing and don't answer it. When you realize that it is getting into the pity party and complaining, cut the conversation short, keep it moving, and preserve your energy. The second type of person that you should never get involved with and cut them off right now if they are in your life are the persons who are always taking and never giving. And they do it strategically. Now remember that just like a bank account, a savings account, every relationship in your life requires deposits and withdrawals. And if it is just like a bank account, you keep on doing more withdrawals than you're doing deposits, then you're going to end up into overdraft, and then you will face serious consequences like lawsuits, or you will have your account closed. So likewise in your personal relationships, if it is that you realize that there are persons who are making more withdrawals than deposits, then the account, the relationship is in overdraft, and it needs to be closed, or it needs to be limited, or all transactions need to cease. Just like a bank account. And we're being very practical and realistic today, because we need to make certain decisions in our lives so that we can move forward financially or with better mental health. There's too much mental crisis happening in the society today for you to take on other person's problems consistently. Because in relationships, we have to help out, but consistently, no. So if it is that you have that person who you are always doing favors for, and I want you to test it today. If you have someone in your life that you realize that you are always doing things for, do a test right now. Pause this video and just make up something that you need assistance with. You need help in transporting something. You need some money to borrow if it is that they're always borrowing from you. Or if it is that you need a drive to work the following day, make up something that your car is in the garage or something. And see if the person happily and they are willing to assist you just as though you have always been willing to assist them. And if it is that the person is over the phone, listen if there is any hesitation or a drop in their tone, or they are not as excited as when they answer the phone. If you are face to face with them, look in their eyes and see if there's a dip or if there's any demotivation in trying to assist you. But remember, read body language. A lot of times in relationships, we ignore what is staring us in the face. People tell us who they are. Oprah Winfrey and Maya Angelou said, listen to people when they tell you who they are the first time. Stop making excuses for people. We make too many excuses for a person. Say, oh, they had a rough time growing up. Oh, give them a second chance because they didn't mean it. Oh, they were just angry when they said something. No. They are showing you who they are and you need to listen. Now, some of the characteristics of this type of person are those persons who are: one, they always appear in your life whenever they need something. They don't call you for days, weeks, months. Then they call you out of the blue and they do some little silly introductory talk. And then after a few minutes, it inevitably comes around to the favor that they want to ask you for. The second characteristic is that they are always making an excuse whenever you ask them for assistance. Remember that test I asked you to run? Listen if they come up with some silly excuses that you can easily well see through, and you can see that they don't want to help you, they only want help. The other characteristic of these type of persons is that you never really see true gratitude coming from them whenever you do something for them. It's like a sense of entitlement. You do something for them and they even go as far as to be complaining how something could be done better for them, or you didn't put out enough effort. Rather than having a sense of gratitude towards you, you therefore realize that these persons are not grateful, they are using you, and you need to evaluate the relationship that you have with them. Now, the main reason why you need to cut off these persons is that they do not respect your time, they do not value what you're giving to them, and anywhere you realize that you are not being valued, you need to remove your value and you need to put it somewhere that your presence is valued more. But remember, it really starts with how much you value yourself. Because once you love yourself and you value yourself as an individual, then you know what type of attitude you need to expect and what type of behavior you are accepting from other persons. Remember, what you get in life is what you tolerate. So if you tolerate a sense of being used and taken for granted, and if you have no barriers or boundaries, then you're going to be mistreated because you tolerated it, you accepted it for too long, and therefore it has now become a trend for you to be used. What should you do? Stop giving them what they want. Most times without even an explanation. Let your no be a no. Just as how you were saying yes before, because some persons like to think that yes is the only answer. No, no is an answer as well. Without an explanation. Let them start realizing that you're taking a different stance against them, and they will start looking into themselves. The last type of person that you should stay away from and never help is a person that self-sabotages. And yes, these are the persons who destroy every opportunity that you give to them. They always find some way that no matter how you elevate them and you assist them to a certain level, they always get in some conflict, always have some drama happening that reduces them back to the very same level of discontent and the same level of poverty that they were before, because they are just always self-sabotaging. Deep down, some persons don't really believe that they deserve more and that they deserve better. There's actually a term for this known as the imposter syndrome. Now, when we begin to attain some level of success, we are saying to ourselves, do I really deserve this? I am not worthy of this. Can I really maintain this? All of us have it, but there are some persons who take it to another level. They actually sabotage themselves to get down to the level that they were before. And that also relates to the company that you are keeping as well. Because once you start to elevate yourself and persons start to say, oh, you're acting like you're better than us. Oh, you don't have time for us anymore. Oh, you think you're richer than us. You are changing. Then you start to level out yourself right back to their level and start sabotaging any opportunities that you had. You find out that you get a demotion at work because you start acting up at work, so you lose the promotion or lose the job entirely. You realize that you start squandering money, so when you have your savings, because you're earning more now, you get back down to getting yourself in debt, you're falling behind in your payments, and you're sinking back to a level of poverty that you were before. You're self-sabotaging. Well, they are self-sabotaging. And no matter how you try to help them, you elevate them, they always settle back down to the position that they were before. You're wasting your time and wasting your energy. Now, characteristics of these persons, one is that they are constantly making self-destructive choices. One that sabotages any opportunity that they have been given. The second quality is that they are always ignoring good advice, and no matter what, each time you see them and you say, I thought I'd given you some advice and you had changed that in your life, you realize that they ignore the advice that you had given and they are back to square one. And the third characteristic is that they find a way to ruin every opportunity that they have been given. What should you do instead? You should let them face the consequences of their choices. When you keep saving persons and they are not facing the crisis that they need to face in order to turn and to change, you are keeping them from realizing the consequences of their ways. Let them realize that what they are doing and the choices that they are making and the opportunities that they are ruining is actually having serious consequences on their life that is holding them back or damaging their other relationships. That is the only way that they will change. So stop saving them. Have them face their consequences and let them come to the realization themselves that they need to change. My last point here is that take an introspective look. Are you one of the persons that I am recommending that you stay away from? Because to thine own self be true. Now, if you are the user, or you are the one that self-sabotages, or if you are the one that ruins every opportunity that comes your way, look within yourself and wonder, why is it that you are losing relationships, losing friendships, and what do you need to change in your life? Stop sitting high and mighty watching this video and thinking and identifying persons in your surrounding who are like this, when you might be the very one who is like the situation that I've mentioned, and you might be the very one that persons are staying away from because of these toxic traits that you have. Change them now before you lose all the valuable persons in your life. Whatever you take for granted, you will lose. Somewhere or the other, the universe, God, is like that. Whatever we take for granted, we lose it some way or the other. So make sure you are not taking people for granted, situations for granted, or your assets for granted. So in closing, if you have found at least one item to be useful in this content, please like, subscribe, and sneakily share it with those persons who you think are toxic in your life. Say, oh, I saw this and I wanted to share it with you. Hopefully they will identify where they fall into the examples given in this video. I thank you for clicking on this video when it came up in your timeline. I also appreciate you spending this time with me. I enjoyed this time I spent with you. I look forward to sharing more content with you, and see you in the next video.